Madam Clerk, take roll call, please.
David Carlin,
Here.
Lynn Underwood Segley,
Here.
Farley Holder,
Here.
Lycam Zavoravon, Jean Marie Napolitano,
Here.
Ellen Pinnock,
Here.
Stephanie Smythe.
Here.
There's a quorum present, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, anyone sign up for the Citizens Forum?
Yes, John Cook,
All right, Mr. Cook, please just state your name and address.
Name is John Cook, 42 Golden Hill Street, Newport, Rhode Island.
Go ahead.
Okay, resident for 16 years. My wife and I live on Golden Hill. And I'm addressing the lack of parking that my wife and I have living where we do in the neighborhood that we live in. And as you know, Golden Hill is across the street from the library. And about 5 years ago, I addressed the situation after my wife had an accident, actually trying to park the car. She hurt herself. And we got as far as, it looks like you guys can park in the library if you wish to. But someone in that meeting, after 3 meetings, said, what happens if you go to Florida for 6 months and leave your car there, which is, not our lifestyle. And they got vetoed. So our situation is that King Street is open for parking if we wish to, and that is being inundated right now because of the construction that's going on at Bellevue. And William Street is restricted to 2 cars. Thomas Street is 2 cars. Not that I think that Thomas is a good place to park as you come around the corner. It's very dangerous. Golden Hill has no parking. So the library has 60 spaces. 20 of those spaces are for 10 of them are library employees, and 10 are park people. Usually you can find a space in the library. I've never not found a space in the library in the 16 years I've been here. You might have to drive around 2 or 3 times. Problem is you only get 3 hours to park there as a citizen of Newport. So we currently have 0 parking, and King Street is no longer an option because of the construction going on at Bellevue. They took out all the Jones parking, as you probably know. And King Street currently is the employees of the plaza park on King Street. And of course, there's tennis players, et cetera. And even the King House is lacking parking for as many people participate there. So there is a serious logger jam with no parking if you are a citizen. So I've been to the police department. I've talked to City Hall here. And they said, well, just go air it out. And my recommendation is that, I do the museum. I have a little sticker if I go to the museum. I do Sala Regina classes for elders. You have a sticker, and just have a sticker that says Golden Hill. And that would not give you a parking ticket. But by the way, I've gotten 4 in the last couple of weeks because they're really, really vigilant about it this year. So I love Newport. I like being a citizen here. I was here when I was a young man with my wife, and we're back here permanently, year round. We cannot park our car. And by the way, a side note, on King Street this winter, our brand new vehicle got totaled in the middle of the night by a drunk driver. So that gets me very leery about parking on King Street. So the library becomes the obvious choice. Now, I've talked to Father Mark at St. Mary's. He was almost on board with it until the parishioners said, you don't go to church here. So that didn't work out. And he's a really nice person. He's also getting inundated by the plaza right now for them to leave.
Mr. Cook, your time is up, unfortunately, so I had to cut you off. But something we'll have to take a look at with administration.
Mr. Chairman,
Council Carlin?
question for the city administration, please. The gentleman who is a constituent of mine referenced that Jones Street was closed to parking. Is that accurate? And why, if so?
Not all of it. Some of it has been restricted as part of the development plan. Some of it is not restricted outside of work hours. I believe there's 9 a.m. or 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. No restriction. So, yes, partially some of those spaces in the west end of Jones needed to be removed for turning radius of emergency vehicles, but not all of them. And so many of them remain available during, outside of those weekday hours, Monday through Friday.
So, Mr. Chairman, my colleagues, I translate that as Jones Street, which was previously allowed for Newport residents and others to park on, is now apparently shut down at some point for the convenience of a developer at the expense of Newport residents and others. That I find unacceptable. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Sounds good.
thank you. I'm not talking about this. I just wanted to take a second to thank our city management director, Rob Schultz, and anybody else, especially the Newport Fire Department, who was involved with setting up that awesome sprinkler system kind of in my Antinomy Park during the heat wave. There was about 200 kids and families that showed up. And I just think it was really awesome. I appreciate the fact that you guys recognize that not everyone has access to the water, regardless of us living on an island. So good job. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Council. And then before we start too, I also want to give a thank you out to everyone involved with the fireworks on this past Saturday. While we all know it wasn't a perfect scenario with the weather coming in as it did, but I just want to give a big thank you and a salute to the fire department, the police department, all the public works and city administration for working together and making sure that that got done, because if we had to postpone it, come to find out Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it's going to work out. So I just want to give a thanks to everyone in the city that was involved with that. So thank you. All right.
Fight Mother Nature.
Or Father Time. Got to go with the public hearing.
Is there anyone else signed up? No? Okay. This is a public hearing for action item 6641, Community Development Block Grant CDBG application from Mumford Manor, 39 Farewell Street. I move that we open the public hearing.
Second.
Hey, motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Next, we will consider the action item 6641, Community Development Block Grant for Mumford Manor.
All right. How
So
you doing?
good
Say your
evening,
name and,
Mayor Holder and counselors and staff and members of the public. I'm Bob Plain. I work for Church Community Housing. I'm your trustee CDBG correspondent. We're here tonight to have a public hearing. Church Community Housing would like to apply for $750,000 in CDBG funds during the affordable housing round. This is the affordable housing round. Typically, I come to you when it's the competitive round. That's when you can apply for either public service or public facility projects. And this round of funding is non-competitive, and it's rolling and it's open whenever the competitive round isn't open, and it's strictly for housing-related purposes. Church Community Housing is, as you said, Councilor Segley, applying for Mumford Manor at 39 Farewell Street. They'd like to apply for $750,000 in funds. I think the project is going to cost a total of in excess of $16 million. As you said, there's also a resolution that's part of the application that after we close the public hearing, the resolution just says that the city supports this application and it empowers the city staff to kind of manage the application and the administration of the grant. If anyone has any CDBG, Community Development Block Grant related questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. And if anyone has any questions about the project itself, Steph Booker and Lizzie Houle and Steve Ostagai are all here to answer any of those questions that you may have. So if anyone has any questions, fire away, please.
Mr. Chairman,
Council Carlin.
Bob, thanks very much for meeting with me recently and for spending far too much of your time.
You're super welcome.
Indulging my questions.
Anytime.
Appreciate everything you do.
Awesome. Same.
And thank you very much for not only this application, but extended applications, past years,
Yeah.
future years, I'm sure. Tell me what I didn't take away from that meeting, which I'm sure you did tell me.
Yeah.
Does Church Community Housing, how can I put this? Does Church Community Housing write on behalf of any CDBG applicant anywhere in the city, or simply on behalf of projects that CCH oversees?
Anyone. So,
Okay.
so one thing I like to say is I get my paycheck from Church Community Housing, but I actually work for you, the city, right? So whoever that you want to apply for a CDBG award, we're more than happy to help with that.
Sure. So it's coincidental that Mumford Manor is in fact run by CCH, but in fact, you, through the federal government, the state to a certain extent, and the city have that overall responsibility.
That's right. My
Yeah.
colleagues and friends get no special treatment from me.
I thought that that's what you told me. And in fact, the extent of your work can be reimbursed by Uncle Sam.
It all is actually. It all
Appreciate you,
is.
Bob.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Mr. Chair.
Counselor Segley?
Just a quick question. Where is the 16 million going to come from, and how long is that going to take to get it? And how long will the project take?
That is a great question. And to answer that, I'm going to turn the microphone over to someone from our development team.
Good evening, Steve Ostergaard with Church Community Housing. This is a process we go through. We've applied for funding. The $16 million is actually part of the cost of construction, and it's a low-income housing tax credit project. It's also a historic project, so we get historic tax credits and we get low-income housing tax credits. There's a variety of different funding sources that Rhode Island Housing administers. There's active debt that we get for the amortizing debt, and they have several other soft second debts. So our application's been submitted and we're waiting to hear on that. We applied actually in February. They ran out of money and they told us to reapply, and we expect to get the funding this fall.
Okay.
So the work would probably begin after the first of the year. This is a preservation project, so there's 34 units there of senior housing, all affordable and remain that. It's just we're addressing issues that were from the original renovations that took place in 1982. We've got safety issues with fire and safety, extending sprinkler systems, replacing plumbing, and roofs and envelope issues on the building.
There's solar panels on there, right?
Yeah, and actually those are 20 years old too, so we're going to be updating those.
Okay, great. Mr. Chair.
Counselor Pettit?
Thank you. Thanks for this. My Mumford Manor is near and dear to my heart. My great grandfather lived there until he was 106 years old and went on to glory. So I really appreciate I don't know that he would have been 106 had it not been for that community there. So thank you very much. I'm just curious if any of the residents would be displaced during the redevelopment or revitalization? No? Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Steve. Anyone else from the public has any comments or questions? No?
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Approve.
Motion and second to close the public hearing. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Motion to approve the consent calendar in its,
Mr. Chair,
I'm sorry.
we need to adopt the accompanying resolution.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, motion to adopt the accompanying resolution.
Second.
All right,
Second.
we have a motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Motion to approve the consent calendar in its entirety.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and
Mr.
second.
Chairman?
Any discussion? Counselor Carlin?
May I please pull 2B number 8?
With the exception of, I'm sorry, say that, which one is it? The
2B, number 8.
2B, number 8.
Item 2 on the agenda is the consent calendar, so I should
The Global Summit,
have actually
Oh.
said B8.
the Newport Global Summit.
Oh, okay, thank you. Okay, got it, thank you. Okay, so with the exception of the Newport Global Summit Incorporated, 76 Bellevue Avenue, August 18th from 12 PM to 5 PM, and August 19th, 2026 from 9 AM to 5 PM.
Second.
All right, motion and second. Any discussion?
This is just to approve the consent
Correct.
calendar, right?
All those in
Yeah.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve the Newport Global Summit, 76 Bellevue Avenue, August 18th, 12 to 5 PM, August 19th, 9 AM to 5 PM. Do I have a second?
All right, motion and second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman?
Council Carlin?
Thank you. Is there a representative from the Newport Global Summit with us this evening?
There was, but she didn't think she had to stay because there wasn't anyone that he felt was going to pull this from the consent calendar.
It's a public hearing.
He actually works for the art museum, but
Yeah, no, that's
They're
all right.
the host.
It's a public hearing. My question of the organizers does not relate to the Newport Art Museum. It relates to Belcourt Castle. When I looked up online, the Newport Global Summit Incorporated, it advertises itself as a summit being held at the Newport Art Museum and Belcourt Castle. Now, this will be the third time in a row, city council meetings wise, that I have come to you and expressed my concern to you, my colleagues, that Belcourt Castle is not meant for this type of an event. So I would like an explanation as to why the organizers feel that Belcourt Castle can be used outside of the parameters which it was clearly approved for. This is not such. Newport Art Museum is. Belcourt Castle in a residential neighborhood is not. I'm afraid we don't have anybody here, as the mayor just mentioned. So I am not prepared to approve this. Perhaps my information is wrong, but if so, then the website is inaccurate. The website for the Newport Global Summit Incorporated.
yeah, it doesn't look like there's any mention of Belcourt Castle in the application that we have.
Nice.
So that's what we can go by.
Can the city administration tell me if the Newport Global Summit Incorporated intends to use Belcourt Castle as a part of this event?
It's not listed on their application, Counselor. I'm just on the website right now for the Global Summit, just seeing if they have something. Oh, I do see closing dinner and Liberty reception, which would be August 19th at Belcourt of Newport. This is on the website for the Newport Global Summit.
That is not what Belcourt Castle is intended for. By proving this, we are setting a precedent
Mr. Chair.
of which I cautioned my colleagues several meetings ago not to do.
Could I just ask a
Council
question? You said it's a dinner in the evening. So, does it say what time that's supposed to start?
No, it does not say.
Okay.
But
'cause-
again, it's not on the application that's before you.
Right, and this only goes till 5 o'clock. So if that's a dinner, I would expect that to be later. So maybe they are planning on submitting another.
Either that or I don't know, maybe they would say it's not open to the public, but clearly you can buy tickets for day one and day two, right? That includes everything.
Mr. Chair,
Council Smythe?
so the website does say that the morning summit sessions, keynote lunch, afternoon summit sessions for August 19th is going to be held at the Newport Art Museum. The only thing that's being held, it looks like at Belcourt, is the closing reception.
And
Right.
at what time is that at? Does it
It,
say?
I don't think it
no,
says.
it says full agenda and speaker list coming soon.
Okay, so what we're only approving is until 5 o'clock that evening. So I think that we need to ask the question about the evening reception.
Oh, I'm sorry, I stand corrected. It does have a schedule overview that 5:30 to 7:30 is going to be at Belcourt of Castle.
Okay, so we're only approving till 5 PM at the
The art museum.
At the art museum. Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Council Carlin?
Solicitor Bean, would they be in violation of city ordinances if they held that without the council's permission?
Counselor held what portion of it? The one.
Portion that Councilor Smythe and Council Vice Chair Segley just mentioned. I mean, I asked this question in the context that it is clear that Belcourt Castle is not made for events like this. When we set precedents as a council for giving permission for such, we are effectively granting permission going forward for folks to do this.
Well,
Okay, a lot of it would have to depend on the nature of it. So if it was something open to the public and qualified as a special event and they did not get a license for it, yes, they would violate our ordinance.
Excuse me, Mr. Bean, I'm sorry, and I thank you for that. Ms. Swistak, City Clerk Swistak, is this a public event?
It would appear that way from
Okay, thank you
their
very
website.
much.
Well, if you want,
but listen, again, I understand, especially Council Carlin, I understand your issue with this. But we're not voting on the Belcourt Castle portion. And I would suggest that we vote on this and then we can talk to the Global Summit, make sure that if they need an application to put in for that, because there's, they have plenty of time to get that done, so that they can put in. I'm not sure if it's a public or private event. That the dinner portion, from what I understand, it is private, but I don't know that for sure. But we've done this. This is the third year that they've been in front of us for this event.
So, Mr. Chairman, I thank you for that. And I ask both the city solicitor and the city clerk, is there evidence that this event at Belcourt is being offered to the public? Is there evidence, for example, that they are asking for sponsorships and the purchase of tickets for attendance at the event?
I don't know. We just heard.
That was a
about-
rhetorical question. I
Counselor,
apologize.
Yeah, Counselor, it's, that you suggested that this information came from a website. It's at another property. The application before you deals with the Newport Art Museum. That's what you would be dealing with there. So you're right. Rhetorical question is if this event takes place that at Belcourt Castle, first thing we'd have to look at, was it a zoning violation? The zoning officer will look at that. And second, did they need a special event license? So in terms of evidence, the clerk believes that there is some indication based on what you read and what she's reviewed at off the website.
Thank you, Madam Clerk, Mr. Solicitor, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, so all those in favor of approval, say yes.
Yes.
All right. Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay. So moving on to licenses and permits, a motion to approve a special event license, Ron Kitt doing business as Newport Kite Festival, Brenton Point State Park, July 11th through to the 12th, 2026, from 12 PM to 4 PM. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second, any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Council Carlin?
thank you. Sarge, would you keep, no, you don't have to. Would you keep an eye on this thing for us, please? We're packed down in that area and folks park in front of my constituents' driveways so they can't exit. And folks park on areas that are no parking areas.
I'm going to cut you off. Sergeant, would you mind coming up front? So just so we have this all on record. I know it's been a while since you've been up here, so I figured
Yes, sir.
we would get you
Sergeant
up here.
Jason Head, Traffic Supervisor.
Thank you, Sergeant. There are 2,000 expected attendees. That parking lot holds far less. Now granted, all 2,000 aren't taking cars, but we can assume that even if we say 4 people per car, 500 spots will be needed. We don't have 500 spots at the park. Can we please keep an eye on that with regard to what I mentioned about my constituents' driveways being blocked by cars who are attending a great event and folks parking in areas that are off limits, grass, sides of street. We have emergency vehicle issues and others. All I'm asking for, as I intend to vote for this, is that Newport Police Department keeps an eye on this, as you all always do with issues that we're concerned about. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, Sergeant Head, so there's been communication with you and the company, the people that are putting the kite festival on about the parking?
Yes, myself, Ron Kitt, the DEM and the parks, we all been spoken together. There is a plan. We've already installed out there our VMS trailers to notify no parking, towing enforced. We're going to supplement more, even though there's no parking signs, we're going to supplement more no parking signs to make it a lot more obvious. We have 3 details there for funneling traffic around that area, along with myself and traffic unit detectives will be out there to enforce any parking violations in the area for both days.
Mr. Chair.
So what's the protocol with the uptick in no parking signs and all that? All the signage is, people do end up parking there. What is this, an automatic ticket, or how's that going to work?
Out there, no, we'll enforce the towing.
Towing, good.
Because it just, once one stop happens, it just escalates. And so
Great.
we have to kind of get ahead of it.
Thank you. Council Segley?
Mr. Chairman,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
are there,
Lynn first, then
I
you.
just have a question. I know that this event is coming up quickly, so it's a little hard to plan, but I'm wondering if this is the type of event that would be good to advertise for parking at the what do you call it? Interlocator lot. And then saying, seeing if we could get some public transportation down to that area. That might be something to alleviate some of the issues down there. So I think that it took a while for them to get their DEM license, and that's why it's coming to us so late. But if maybe we could start strategizing something to that effect, it might alleviate some of the issues down there.
Or if we come up with a better name for that lot?
Yeah, they're like, I think what's coming up, as a matter of fact, I think it's coming up tonight and it's jazzy. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
Council Napolitano?
no, I was thinking the same thing. If there's an alternative way for people to go to the event and not bring their cars and get back from the event, surely there should be some charter buses or for a nominal fee, and it would make it a lot easier. Okay.
All right. Any further questions for Sergeant Head? Thank you, Sergeant. All right. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Motion to approve an annual entertainment license renewal, Class A, indoors, Salve Regina University, doing business as Casino Theater 9, Freebody.
Second.
Second?
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Motion to approve an annual entertainment license renewal, Class A, indoors, Diego's of Newport
Second.
LLC, 11 Bowens Wharf.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
I have to read faster. Motion to approve an annual entertainment license renewal, Class A, the Wharf Pub Newport LLC, doing business as Wharf Southern Kitchen and Whiskey Bar, 37 Bowens Wharf.
Second?
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion to approve a vittling license, New Umi Asian Inc., doing business as Umi Asian Cuisine, 82 Broadway.
Second?
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next, appointments to boards and commissions, Mr. Chair.
We have a few coming up tonight. So for the Tree and Open Space Commission, we have Ellen Rupert, 3-year term expiring July 8, 2029.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We have 2 to the Historic District Commission. Previously in our consent calendar, we have 2 members that are resigning from the HDC, which opened up 2 spaces. So these 2 people are both currently alternates that would be moving up to full seats. First is Jan Detremont, moved from alternate to full for a 3-year term expiring 3/25/29.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next is Benjamin Willett, also moving from alternate to full, 3-year term expiring 3/25/29.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Council Carlin?
Well, Mr. Willett is a fine man, and in fact, I've done business with him before. I do not believe that the Historic District Commission should have members who are full-time real estate agents on its body as full voting members, not alternates. And I echoed this when the alternate position came up about a year or so ago. Mr. Willett is, as I said, a fine individual who has built up a tremendous business. And I know that his heart is in the right place. His intentions are in the right place. But there are too many overlaps with regard to real estate agents and our boards and commissions, specifically historic district, zoning, and planning. There is a property on Broadway next to Chump, which Mr. Willett is now representing, which will ultimately become a large-scale short-term rental. And I just don't believe that this is the type of representative, though a fine man, as I said, though a fine professional, that we want on the Historic District Commission. The Historic District Commission, about a year plus ago, and we dealt with this in the public comment earlier regarding Jones Street and the CVS Plaza, had before it a proposal with regard to the Bellevue Hotel. That has raised numerous issues for our residents, this council, and the administration. And I think, as you all know, that has led to some very strong feelings with regard to what our boards and commissions do and who, in fact, sits on our boards and commissions. I think you understand what I'm saying. That's the reason I'm voting no, and I will stop talking.
Any other discussion?
Mr. Chair?
Council Pinnick?
Thank you. I also just wanted to talk a little bit about Mr. Willett. I was part of the interview process for him when he first came through, interviewing for something else. So aside from his real estate work, he also does a lot of work in our community with youth. He is a volunteer with kids who play baseball. He also works with Star Kids. So I think he is also very invested in our community and believes that he has the wisdom and knowledge and understanding to be able to do this position justice. So I am going to vote for Mr. Willett.
Thank you, Councilman. All right. All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Opposed?
Ayes have it. Next, we have reappointments to the Historic Cemetery Advisory Commission. First is Teresa Stokes, RI Black Heritage Society Representative, 3-year term expiring 8/23/29.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Gary Ruff, Newport Preservation Society Representative, 3-year term expiring 8/23/29.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then Bert Lippincott, Newport Historical Society, 3-year term expiring 8/23/29.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And then finally, the Sister City Commission, Mary Jameson, 3-year term expiring 4/24/2029.
Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Okay, next, motion to receive a communication from Colleen Burns Germain, Superintendent, notice of projected school budget deficit pursuant to Rhode Island General Law 16-2-9F.
Second.
We have motion and a second, and this is again, we just are receiving this communication. There's no necessary vote taking place for it. So any discussion on the communication?
Mr. Chairman,
Council Carlin?
on such, this includes the memorandum from Mr. Nolan to the city administration, which was subsequently passed to the council, yes?
This is, believe this is just a communication stating that the school's aware that the budget is going to be a deficit budget for the
Okay,
next year.
appreciate it. So it's absent that.
Correct.
On the communication from Dr. Germain, please.
Yes, sir.
Can anybody in the administration or elsewhere, tell me what the vote was by the Newport City, or by the Newport School Committee to adopt the fiscal 27 budget?
Yeah, we have school committee members. You want to come up? From what I believe, it was 4-3, but I'll let you name names.
It was on a 4-3 vote, and it passed. And we were under pressure to get a budget in by July 1st, which is mandated by state law.
Oh, thank you, Becky. And again, I've said this before, but I thank you for your many, many years of service. You're one of the finest people I've ever served with or met in public elected office. So it sometimes pains me to have to be so outwardly critical of the Newport School Committee. My question to you, Becky, and I'll call Mr. Nolan up as well, since I believe it's a public document that Mr. Nolan sent to the members of the council regarding that memo to the administration that I referenced. Mr. Nolan and the administration, or Mr. Nolan believes, as do I, that the council, that the school committee passed a irresponsible budget and did so simply for the purposes of balancing on paper said budget. Do you want to speak about that?
So fulfilling the law, that's why it got passed. We left it all in one category, so it was easily identifiable. I mean, it was no surprise to anybody that we were running a $2.6 million deficit at that point. And we had to come up with the budget. And that's why you received the letter like July 1st, because we knew we had a deficit. And it's our duty within 5 days to notify the city and RIDE that we anticipate a deficit.
Thank you, Becky. Thank you, Ms. Nolan. I appreciate that answer. The letter that was addressed to the Newport City Council, or to the mayor, to the administration, was in fact prior to the start of the fiscal 27 year. So one might argue that there was still time to adjust your budget. I don't think you, as the Commissioner of Education, Commissioner at RIDE, through her attorneys and staff, told the Newport School Committee and Newport City Council, I don't think you are entitled to suggest that help is necessary, potentially through a Carullo Act or otherwise, before a fiscal year starts.
Did you
It
receive
must be rather obvious that you are in fact falling short of what is expected to finance the operations during the fiscal year in question. To say ahead of time that we are going to be off budget and have a shortfall is inappropriate. What you do ahead of time is you make the necessary adjustments to your budget.
So would you have wanted us to wait until we are $2.6 million away from not being able to pay our bills. We
I-
knew that the law reads that you, as soon as you know you have a deficit, an impending deficit, that you let everyone know. And maybe you got it on July 30th, or I mean, June 30th, but that's only because we had an outgoing superintendent. And part of the motion that was passed said that we had to notify you that we knew that there was a deficit. That was our way of some of us not feeling comfortable about passing the budget, but knowing that was part of our job to have something in by July 1st.
No, I certainly would not have, Becky, Ms. Bowen, wanted you to wait 5 months, just like I did not want the school
Yeah.
committee to wait 9 months, 10 and a half
Yeah.
months, actually, to tell us about the fiscal 26 shortfall. But if you look at the entirety of the legislation, of the statute, though it does not very specifically reference what could be a shortcut, which the school committee is attempting to do, it does talk about the existing budget. And you are not yet, when you wrote that letter to RIDE, dealing with an existing budget. What you're saying is, we would like to abandon our responsibilities and give it over to the council, give it over to the taxpayers of the city of Newport to deal with what could be and should be dealt with the existing school department, school committee. That is to say, tough budgets are a fact of life. Mr. Nolan and his predecessor, Ms. Citron, have done a tremendous job the last, arguably, what, Gene, 12 to 15 years, building up a surplus for us
Yep.
and getting our numbers to where we should be and where we arguably are one of the best in the state. The Newport School Committee, I'm sorry to say, has done no such thing and has abandoned, as I said, its responsibility and is trying to turn it over to the council, which is irresponsible. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor Collins.
I just wanted to add that until we right the ship and make up for what we haven't gotten in many years, and we've gotten an average of 1.6% over the last, I think it's either 10 or 15 years, that you cannot make up for a structural deficit. And once you start using one-time money, this is what happens. And that's what we started to do. And there were years that you told us to use our one-time money to balance the budget. So anyway, we are where we are right now. And, we did what we did. We reported it and we thought that's what we were supposed to do. We were told by our lawyer to do it. And so we all want to work together, though. None of us want to do Clulo. No one does. And our new superintendent is committed. We had a meeting with him yesterday to see what we can do to make as many more cuts and, and be fiscally responsible. And I'm hoping that a lot of that comes out of it. All right.
All right.
Mr.
Thank you.
Chair?
Councilor Smythe?
Can you explain, I know the letter says that it's the projected reductions in out-of-district special education expenditures. Can you speak to that a little bit? Because I know that unfortunately, special education is usually the first to get hit at the federal, state, local level. Can you speak to that a
So
little bit?
This year, we have 39 students. At the end of the year, we had 39 students in out-of-district placements. And I think that we are anticipating that will be like 2.8 million to pay for those students, which we're legally responsible to do. And so there were some suggestions that we take it out of 20, 25 accounts, like just go through, cut everything back to where it was last year or the year before. And we thought that was irresponsible and that you couldn't go back and trace it all. It's going to look like, oh, you messed this, this count up, this one, that one. By taking it out of one, right, it's just easier to track it. That's all.
And what services would these students lose?
They're not going to lose.
They're not gonna lose?
There's no, we're legally obligated. We have to,
Okay.
we have to pay for these students. So,
Okay, thank you.
any other
Mr. Chair?
Councilor Seigel?
I think that there's the rub is that the school department has to take everyone and that you really don't know when a student is going to come in who is going to cost the district a lot of money. And I think the city has much more stability in that way than the school department does. One of the things that's mentioned in this letter is about additional operational funding that could possibly help with some of the costs, which of course is something that I think that, you know, the city must look at and in order to help you with all of that. So I'm willing to work on that with you. And of course, I think the education is important. And, you know, I'm going to admit, I believe that the schools have been underfunded over the years. And we've given a lot of money, but for things that are not part of the maintenance of effort. And so we can say, you know, but it's the maintenance of effort that keeps the structural framework of a budget. So we've tried to kind of fill the holes, and unfortunately, I think that we need to do more.
And when we do have a audit going to be starting here very soon, both fiscally and a staffing audit. And so that'll help all of us see, you know, if we are overstaffed in any areas. We did our own internal audits this year and came up with many staff, you know, and some of them have been called back because they contractually, we needed these people and we were obligated to them. But there's still some out on that were let go, so.
Mr. Chair?
Yep.
Sorry, were you finished?
Sounds good.
Thank you. First, thank you very much for all your years of service to our kids in our community. You are appreciated. And regardless of whatever conversation, just want to make sure you realize
Thank you.
that your work has been appreciative by many of us. So thank you very much for everything that you have done. I agree with Councilor Segley. This is a systemic issue. The funding issue is systemic. So of course, this is where we are. It's like any systemic issue in this country. When it just builds up and builds up and builds up, eventually it's going to crumble. And I do agree that I think we have done a lot. No one is saying that the city has not stepped in and contributed when necessary. But our schools have been underfunded, and that's on paper. That's a fact. And that's part of the issue. There are many components to what's happening in Newport Public Schools with the budget deficit and the way that things are being operated right now. But the underfunding is a huge part of that. And I will also do everything that I possibly can to work with Newport Public Schools, considering 74% of those kids in Newport Public Schools are in my ward.
As
So-
I said, the one thing we need to do is we need a one-time right the ship.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be able to, you know, keep it to a budget after that.
Agree with you. I'm at Newport Public Schools every day. I was there yesterday reading to kids. I'm there every single day. So I see the need in the schools, and I also see what the educators and so the administrators that are left are going through in the schools. So we need to do more for our kids. We pour money into the things that are important to us. So thank you very much for everything you've done, Becky.
Ms. Cullen, you want to come up?
Mr. Chairman,
Councilor Cullen?
thank you. And I apologize, Ms. Cullen, before she addresses everybody. Quick question for Mr. Nolan. Mr. Nolan, what is the, regarding Councilor Pinnock's commentary, what is the maximum percentage amount that the Newport School Committee can ask of the council to fund year over year in terms of an increase?
That's 4%.
What did the council fund in percentage terms for the fiscal 27 budget?
4%.
Thank you very much.
Hi, Beth Cullen, 19 Bayside Avenue, Newport School Committee. I just want to clarify a couple things. We did have a vote of 4-3 to approve that budget a couple weeks ago. There was no camera present, and I asked that it be continued so that the public could see what we were discussing of that $50 million budget. I was appalled that a line item was zeroed out to solve the problem. So my colleagues passed a budget, 4 of them, that was really a mockery of accounting practices. So that said, I think it's time that we start talking more as a body, as both the school committee and the municipal government together to figure this out. And the one thing we can do together that we've been lopsided about is regionalization. We just don't have the critical mass anymore to cover these costs. Our schools are shrinking enrollment-wise, but they're very large. We have huge utility bills, and our kids are not getting the courses they deserve because of critical mass, the lack of. So the advanced kids aren't getting the AP classes that they really need and want. The kids that have learning disabilities and problems that are behind aren't getting the attention they deserve. So in order to solve these problems, it's not necessarily more money, it's more critical mass. So I really hope that all of you here will work with the school committee harder to get regionalization back on the table. It's the only way forward. I know there's a lot of nostalgia that comes with being a Viking. I get it. My dad graduated in 39, although he didn't live his life saying he was a Viking. I just think we have to put the nostalgia aside and start thinking practically about the future of our children and our economy and how we're educating these kids. None of our kids are getting a quality education, and money's not going to solve that. What's going to solve that is critical mass. I'll keep saying it. We need to have more kids to do the advanced classes, more kids to do the ramp up, and we need to start processing it so that we're working together fiscally. I know later you're going to talk about the audit. Becky mentioned it. That audit needs to be done in tandem. It needs to be done with both the municipal government and the school department. The taxpayers pay one tax bill. We don't have a separate school district. Other states have like a separate school bill. We have one bill for our taxes, one pot of money. So that money needs to be managed properly. And it's not being, we're not collaborating now. So every year, the school committee comes back and says, give me money. They don't tell you why. You guys don't know what's going on day to day. And our finance departments are not, they're in sync, but they could be a lot more in sync. Middletown has it figured out. I know Jim Nolan has a lot figured out, but we as a body, as the school committee, and you as the council, need to really push for fiscal responsibility for both bodies. It's not two separate things. We're one city. So, thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Chair.
Councilor
I
Segley.
just want to make one comment that Newport is not unique in its reduction of students in the schools either. So, you look at Middletown, you look at Tiverton, you look at, there are many communities that are going through the same thing. And, I think it would just really behoove the state if they were more proactive in making regionalization happen within the communities, because every community is suffering, and it's shocking because people aren't having the kids they had, and it's not the same as it was.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilor Palatano.
After all these years, I am so upset with the schools. I really am. It's not like the performance is there. It's not. And it's not because the teachers don't teach it. It's because the lack of staffing and the appropriateness of the number of students. I mean, regionalization, we've been at this, I've been at this for 4 years. I just put together all my stuff with the regionalization. I had a box and it was this high. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out when you have less kids in a classroom and your bills are going up and up, that we shouldn't regionalize and give the benefit to the students and give the benefit to the teachers that are teaching them. It's not happening. I'm disappointed. We've given a lot of money to the schools. We came up with a premium bond. We didn't. Finance department came up with a premium bond, $14 million that we had given. And on top of that, we continued to give and give and give. And guess what? The performance of our students are down. And I mean way down. It's about time we shake this thing up. We truly have to look at it from the standpoint of families They want their kids to succeed. I want my grandkids to succeed. But it ain't happening. It's not happening because they don't have the resources. They don't have the teachers for certain things, including AP, including language, including a lot of things. And they don't have the appropriate, I mean, I'm totally disgusted. I am not in favor of coming up with more money. More money isn't going to fix the problem.
Well, Mr. Chair,
Council Seguin.
less money is not going to fix the problem either. So I guess I don't like or agree with the idea that there are no children in the Newport Public Schools who are thriving. They don't have any. We have students who do very well in the Newport Public Schools. We have teachers who are very dedicated. I don't want to paint the full paintbrush of this. This is just a terrible school district, because when you look at the top 10 students, when you look at the students who graduated from Rogers, I mean, these are people who you cannot keep disparaging something. We need to work together. The more disparagement from the council, it makes it even worse. And I know the realities, but the fact of the matter is we have some great dedicated teachers. We have great dedicated administrators, and we have kids who want to learn, and we have kids who are succeeding, and they play sports, and then they're in the theater. And it breaks my heart because I went to see the kids in the theater production, and they were fantastic. And it's like, so when you put a face on them, it's different.
That's a joint Middletown Newport Drama Club.
Hold
So
on.
that's a gold star. I just want to
Ms.
correct one
Cullen,
thing.
first of all, I didn't call you up
I'm sorry.
to speak.
Yeah, finish.
Are you going to say anything about the budget? Because that's what we're talking about. I don't want to.
Right.
We're getting off the tangent here.
Money is not going to solve our quality of education problems. And I don't know how, yes, 10% of our kids do just fine. 50% of our kids graduate without a plan. That means no skill school, no tech school, no CCRI, no military, nothing. So we need to start getting really serious and stop kidding ourselves about such a great school system. That's a mirage. Yes, the kids are great. I can tell you that, all of them. Teachers are working hard. We've had some real trouble with administration, real trouble. So we have to start working together and being honest with ourselves. The solutions are there. We just have to stop the opaqueness and the candy coating. Thank you.
Mr. Chair.
Council Smythe.
I know we have this communication before us. I do not believe that this is a one-off situation that is going to be solved with just handing over money. I believe that this is a multifaceted issue, broader issue that it has a ripple effect to a number of things that you can see that was presented here tonight. I would like to recommend, we have 2 school committee members here tonight. The superintendent is not here. The finance director is not here. I would hope that the intent of council is going to be to meet with the school committee and those individuals to have a more broader discussion of what the issues actually are. We just keep bandaging random things in the process and not actually addressing the real issues. And I just think that that is going to be a larger discussion to have.
Thank you, Councilman. Yeah, no, and I what? Unless you have a question for him. I mean, and I agree with Councilor Smythe, but, we're talking about this communication of this budget that we got. And the only thing I can look at when I see this is, we have 6 school committee members that aren't coming back, right? 4 of those voted for this budget. This budget that we got is not even worth the piece of paper it was written on. It's terrible. And the fact that it was only a 4-3 for it, this thing should have been shot down at the school committee level, but it wasn't. So it's, again, it's going to be put on the city to try to fix this problem, and that's fine, because I think we have the people that can do it. But again, I'm extremely disappointed that you came back. This is almost the same budget as last year. And we know where that got us, so. As much as I know you were under the gun to legally to put this out there, but I just think it's just, it was just with an outgoing school superintendent, 6 outgoing school committee members, multiple administrators not coming back. You know, I think that I'm hoping that this might be a blessing in disguise in the long run, but you know, there's a lot of work to be done. I'm just disappointed that this is put in front of us as a city, because if I was on the school committee, and I hate to, you know, hurt anyone's feelings, but I'd be embarrassed. That's all I can say about that. So, that being said, we're going to vote to receive the communication.
Aye.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, action item 6642, the ITC recommends adding to chapter 10.24 of the City of Newport's codified ordinance as follows. Parking prohibited at all times in designated places. No person shall park a vehicle at any time upon the following streets. Add South Baptist Street beginning 201 feet west of Spring Street and proceeding west a distance of 26 feet. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Council Carlin?
I originally supported the designation back in February of 2024. It has had a travel route, which is very interesting since then. I won't get into it, but as I'm sure my colleagues have seen, there are many objections to what is before us now from South Baptist Street residents. So I am afraid that I will have to reverse what I originally supported and vote no on this in support of the many residents of South Baptist in nearby Thames who would like to see it defeated. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Counselor. Any other discussion? All right, again, this is just a first reading, first reading of an ordinance change. So
Is there anyone in the audience who wants to?
I was just going to get to
Okay.
that. Is there anyone in the public that'd like to comment on this? No? Okay. All right, let's go to vote. All's in favor of this parking prohibition, say aye. All's opposed, say nay.
Nay. Action item 6643, the ITC recommends adding to chapter 10.56 one-way streets of the City of Newport's codified ordinance as follows. One-way street designated sign required. This would be add Bridge Street westbound from Thames Street to America's Cup Avenue.
Second,
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman.
Council Carlin?
First of all, I'd like to thank my colleagues, Councilor Smythe, Councilor Pinnock, and Councilor Kamsavaravong for some 17 months ago agreeing to change the designation on Bridge Street. I actually need to give particular credit to Councilor Smythe, who in campaigning door to door in 2024, listened to the voters of Bridge Street and nearby, and this was a serious concern of theirs, particularly as there was a playground nearby and a number of other issues that because of time we won't get into tonight, but Councilor Smythe passed it on to me as a FYI, since I was and am, I should say, the counselor for Bridge Street. And she recommended that when she was sworn in as a member of the city council in December of 2024, we look as soon as possible at making the changes. And indeed, we did so, as I mentioned, back many, many months ago. I also want to thank the administration, the Newport Police Department, and the state of Rhode Island for their assistance in this long travel. And I would ask my colleagues to support this communication from the city manager. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Council Smythe?
I do want to thank Counselor Carlin because he did immediately contact the residents and speak with them as to what would help improve their quality of life. They were really struggling as far as their cars getting hit and not having a safe sidewalk to walk on. The lane of traffic was just very invasive. And speaking with the residents over the past couple of weeks, they are absolutely overjoyed for this change. So I just want to thank everybody involved in making this happen.
Any other discussion? I'm just going to add that I was against this because we didn't take the right avenues to go about getting a change. It was, I think Council Carlin, I believe, was your resolution that called for this. So, and you obviously you garnered the votes to get some, but I will vote for this because now it's too far down the road. But the way we go about these things, we have the ITC that you go through, and just like the previous request that we just had, it may not always work out that way, but there are ways to go about it that are correct. This wasn't one of those, which is why I voted against it in the first place. But I will vote for this. As like I said, it's already done, and we've gone through ride out to get it taken care of. So that being said, all those in favor of this change, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Action item 6644 from Jim Nolan, Director of Finance. It is recommended that the City Council approve a distribution of $50,000 from the Henderson Home Trust to fund immediate maintenance projects at 14 Clark Street and provide cash reserves for future programmatic needs. This is currently budgeted. I move approval.
A motion and second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Council Carlin?
trying to be as brief tonight as possible, but I do want to thank Jack Brandt, who is a member of the commission here in the audience and who typically comes to city council meetings. What you do, Jack, is certainly not recognized by the citizens overall, and what your commissioners, your colleagues do is not recognized. We have a difficult problem here. Appreciate your outline to me as the liaison to the Henderson Home Commission. And again, I appreciate what you and your colleagues do. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. All right. Any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Action item 6645, the multimodal pillar community recommends that the City Council pass a resolution officially naming, designating, and publicly referring to the new parking lot established by the Bridge Realignment Project located at 80 JT Connell Highway as the Newport Access Hub. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion? That sounds jazzy, you think?
It sounds jazzy.
No.
It's
better.
it could be called better. No. Anyway, I do have a question for you though. Are we going to put up signs from, will there be signage, and is there any update on the signs for the Gateway building? Just curious.
Hi, good evening. Julie Martin, Planning Department, and also member of the Multimodal Pillar Committee. So we are have already contacted some signing vendors to establish a planning budget estimate to go forward. So if you like the name and we can officially designate it, and then we can go forward, produce the signage, help people find their way downtown. We're envisioning a larger name sign that says, this is the address. You can access downtown here by biking, walking. There's a bus stop. You can park here for free. It's free public parking. And then some vertical pole signs that are located by the multi-use path that also give people that visual cue as you get out of your car or off the bus that, this way is downtown, this way is North End or my Antonelli Park.
But do we know when the signage at the Gateway will go up?
I unfortunately cannot answer that question.
Okay. Oh, I'll find out. It's okay. I'm just curious because I was hoping it'd be by July 4th, but that one didn't happen. So
Absolutely.
thank you.
Oh, Councilman Napolitano?
Yeah, can I just mention, the name is kind of long. I mean,
Newport
yeah.
Access Hub?
The nah?
Nah, nah. It just, it's.
What did you call it
I'd
before?
like
What is it
something
called right now?
more.
No. What is
No,
it
what's
called
the
right
name?
now?
Oh,
The
it's called the
intermodal.
interlocal.
Yeah, well, that's
Industrial
the, I mean, it has to be something that people, you know,
Yeah.
are attracted to. I don't, well,
We thought about the
I
name,
haven't.
but obviously that one's already taken.
Mm.
That's-
Um, Well,
How about free parking? That'll get people in.
yeah.
yeah, right.
That might be the only place you can get it.
I think it's as good as anything else, as long as we have signage, but, you know,
Yeah.
can always change.
Nah.
Nah, nah.
I guess the only thing, I don't mind Newport Hub, but Newport Access Hub, I'm not sure what it is. You know, Newport Hub would be fun.
Okay.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Action item 6646, the Grants Office within the Department of Resilience and Sustainability, in collaboration with the Department of Planning and Development and the Department of Public Services, recommends that the City Council authorize acceptance of a $321,600 grant from the Federal Highway Administration of an fiscal year 24 Safe Streets and Roadways for all, that's SS4A grant program. This requires a 20% match, $80,400, which will be covered by the Grant Match Reserve Fund account. Grant funding will support development of a supplemental neighborhood safety plan for the Point, Cary Hill, Van Zant, and the North End neighborhoods, advancing implementation of Newport's Vision Zero commitment to eliminate traffic fatalities and serious injuries. I move approval.
Second?
All right, motion and second, any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Action item 6647, the Department of Utilities recommends the award of contract 2026 UTL 004 Station 1 Drinking Water Treatment Plant, SCADA and PLC modernization of SOAP SCADA LLC of Houston, Texas. The proposals were due April 14th and the responsive bids was $791,182.22, which includes $150,000 in contingency allowance controlled by the city. This is currently budgeted. I move approval.
Second?
All right, motion and second, any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Council Segley?
I just want to make one comment. Mr. Schultz, you had a Facebook post on about the wastewater treatment plant, and it was a big hit. And so I would like, you know, we had always talked about putting out more communication so people really understand the difficulty and the processes and keeping our water clean and our bay clean. And I just really appreciated that post. I thought it was excellent. And I would love to see more of that. And I know that people were like, wow, this is behind the scenes stuff. This is really cool. So I think that's successful.
We missed the crane by about 30 minutes.
Well,
I actually had the drone run over and try to get the crane lifting off the giant slabs. But the pictures and stuff we had walking around with Tom and then some of the others.
it's really good. And the, you know, taking the tour of that station, the water treatment plant on Bliss Mine Road was such an eye opener that to have more of that type of communication going out, I think people will understand more about the difficulties of handling all of this infrastructure and all of this and the science behind it. So.
Yeah, there's art and science to it. We're definitely not a simple system. And I get reminded routinely about stuff that doesn't shock me or seems normal. So we're even reminding ourselves that. So the hope is that we get to do more of that. We're trying to do more through the website, different communications. But we share communications bandwidth with the entire city. So hopefully you'll see more.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Rob. All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Action item 6648, the Department of Finance recommends approval to contract with Constellation Energy for the fixing of per kilowatt KWH rates regarding the supply of electricity for the period of December 2026 through December 2030. The new negotiated rate as of June 23rd, 2026, subject to change daily based on market conditions, is 0.1236 kilowatts. The city's current fixed rate contract, also with Constellation Energy, is currently at a rate of 0.1138 kilowatts, which is fixed through December 2026. Negotiated rates are based on estimated annual consumption. This new contracting period includes the addition of new Rogers High School meter account and a start date of the first billing in 2026. This is currently budgeted. I move approval.
Second.
Motion and second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Council Carlin?
thank you. Two questions. First, with regard to the Rogers High School portion of this contract, as Councilor Kamzaborovong raised at the last city council meeting, do we have any definitive explanation as to why rates for the high school differ from those with the city or other schools?
This is Kevin Cortez. He's our purchasing agent. He's taken on an awful lot of this project here.
Hi,
Hey,
just a
Kev.
quick introduction. Kevin Cortez, purchasing agent, like he said. For the Rogers High School utility account, that changed when the new meter was put in after the construction. It was automatically enrolled in the Community Choice Aggregation Program, as is any new meter, any new install in the city. That was not caught or realized until.
Excuse me 1 second. Any new meter in the city with regard to government property or with regard to any residential, commercial, industrial, and government property?
Any commercial, residential, industrial.
All inclusive.
All inclusive.
Unless you opted out.
Correct, unless you
Thank
opt
you.
out.
Keep going. Sorry.
So that was automatically enrolled into the industrial community choice aggregation rate. What we saw for the infamous bill that everyone was talking about, the $65,000 one, was at a rate of 16.2 cents per kilowatt hour. We're looking to fix it to that 12 cents, which insulates from the energy markets and gives us budget predictability through 2030.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If we do in fact approve this matter this evening, will the rate at Rogers High School be consistent with the rate at the other entities that I've mentioned, including the city of Newport, or will we need to negotiate further? If we agree to the contract this evening, negotiation is possible, but on the provider side, not necessary. The provider can simply say, well, you signed the contract. We'll charge you what we signed the contract for. Does the contract include the same rate at Rogers as is provided for the rest of the entities in city government?
It does include the same rate.
Thank you. What's the rate again?
As of June 23rd, it was 12.36 cents. I've gotten updates since then because the market's so volatile, it changes every day.
Of course.
The most recent rate I got, which was actually today.
But the contract is inclusive of variable changes, correct?
Correct.
All right. And what approximately will this contract save for the Newport, dollars-wise, for the Newport School Department, specifically regarding Rogers or Pell and Thompson, if applicable?
So Rogers, Pell, and Thompson are already fixed through 2028 at a rate of 10 and some change cents. It's actually better than what the city gets. They have their own contract for those entities. The old Rogers High School meter was included in that, but in the new construction, the new meter was put in and it was not carried over. I wasn't part of that discussion, so I don't know what happened with that. The savings for the Rogers High School account for the most recent rates would amount to about on average $3,000 a month.
So I'm sorry, I think either I misunderstood your explanation previously or what you just explained. You said all three Newport school buildings are subject to a contract, which is 10 and change per kilowatt hour, correct?
Correct.
But earlier you said that the Rogers contract was, as per questions asked at prior council meetings, something, at least to me, that sounded different than 10 and change per kilowatt hour.
So it was on that same contract until the new meter was put in with the new construction of the building.
So the contract that includes all three schools now expires when?
2028, end of the calendar year, 2028.
The contract that's before us this evening begins when?
That would begin as soon as we sign the contract, but it would actually start billing for the Rogers High School account, the first bill in August of 2026. And then for the rest of the city accounts, which are roped into the same contract, the first billing period in December of 2026.
So I think that's where I have a problem understanding. How can the new contract supersede a contract in existence?
There is no contract for the current Rogers High School meter.
But you told me Rogers, Pell, and Thompson are on the same. There's no contract. It's just the handshake type of thing. Or?
No. The Pell and Thompson, there's actually 2 meters at Pell. So Rogers, Pell, and Thompson were on a contract, those utility meters. When the new construction happened for the Rogers High School, a new meter and new account number was generated, so it was dropped from that existing contract.
Understood. So Rhode Island Energy, or the presumed deliverer of, and by deliverer, you can interpret however you want, the energy supply, agreed to cut the contract short, which ended in 2028?
No, so we contract with a third-party supplier, kind of in the same way the Community Choice Aggregation Program works. So that contract's with a third-party supplier, which they, at the point of contract signing, project the actual usage on an annual average basis for X number of accounts for these account numbers.
But that was for all three schools.
Correct.
And that was to end in 2028.
Correct.
So how did we get away with stopping what presumably, again, as you said, there's no contract. So what do we just pay them like as if you are renting your apartment month to month?
It's a completely separate supplier now for the Rogers High School. So it's not part of the old contract.
So are we not under any obligation when we previously signed a contract through 2028 to pay the previous provider?
We are not, because it's a different meter and a different utility account number. It's
Ms.
identified.
Bean, I don't understand how, if we signed a contract with somebody, wouldn't that provider say, well, I don't care what you do, you still got to pay us through 2028?
When I'm hearing that there isn't one of those contracts, that the new Rogers meter can now go on with this new contract, we're gonna go under, if you approve this, we'll go under that as my understanding of what I heard. I gotta be honest, Counselor, I mean, I haven't looked at this, I'm just getting the same information you're getting right now.
And thank you. I appreciate the explanation. I appreciate the savings. The 3,000 a month is something. It's more than something.
I think.
But I'm still very confused as to how we can stop mid-contract from somebody or some entity providing something to us.
Because they're
simply because we say we've got a different way of calculating the electricity usage.
The moment that new meter and account was put in, we're no longer being supplied by the old contract, supplied by a completely different supplier at that point.
I guess another way to look at this, too, I'm thinking in my head is you've got a ghost meter at the old Roger. But that contract still applies. It's just not, there's no electricity.
It's a zero read. Yep. Hey, Councilor Napolitano.
Yes, Kevin, have we resolved the issue with the electricity, the prior bills?
We have not.
We have not.
No.
Okay.
What this fix will do is just avoid that 16 cent or that absorbent rate from happening any further.
What is the amount that is due from the school department? Does anybody know?
That is due from that overage.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't have that figure in front of me.
Okay.
It's 4 cents or so per kilowatt hour. It's probably tens of thousands of dollars at least.
Yeah. So that's still an outstanding issue,
It's
Jim?
It is an outstanding issue. I mean, it's the bills, we did not have that new meter under a contract.
Right.
So we went back to the supplier and said, is there anything that we can do? There's really not much that we can go back retrospectively and adjust. But what we're looking to do here is really on a prospective basis.
Okay, and that was my question.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Councilor Carlin.
outstanding question, Councilor Napolitano. Exactly what I was thinking. By approving this contract tonight, Kevin, our Director Nolan, do we lose our opportunity to negotiate for the savings that the discrepancy that Councilor Napolitano just mentioned? In other words, we are claiming, listen, we should be entitled to much less in terms of the total spending on our electric at Rogers. By signing this contract, are we in fact, and Ms. Vian, maybe you opine, are we in fact giving up our right to negotiate? Once we sign the contract, they can say,
Yeah.
well, thanks for that opinion, but too bad, you've signed the contract. Does this contract include any negotiations between the city and the provider with regard to what Councilor Napolitano just mentioned? The tens of thousands of dollars that we think were not overcharged, but that we think we should not have been charged because the electricity provider should have been charging us the same as other city entities. If you know what I'm saying. Very long explanation, very complex. I'm sorry, but I thank Councilor Napolitano for that question.
Retroactive.
What about the money? That's the bottom line.
I don't think it removes the opportunity to go after that money. I think we will be hard pressed to get it. With the way these third-party supply contracts work, it gets even more complex because the school department is with a completely different company than what we are proposing here. It's a separate third-party supplier. But there is information in the contracts themselves that basically say, if we at the city or the school department add a new meter or new account and we don't notify them of that, that they're not responsible for any overages that we would be charged. So
Thanks. Thank you, Kevin. Last question. So this entity that the contract, this entity, which contract is before us, whose contract is before us, completely and totally separate than the prior contract or the prior understanding regarding providing energy to Rogers High School.
that is correct. We are effectively looking to extend our contract with Constellation, which is already underway now for all of the city accounts. And in order to afford those same savings for the overbilled Rogers High School account, add it to that city-wide contract. What may come into discussion later down the line, maybe when the rest of the schools come up for their third-party supply rate at the end of 2028, we could do a 2-year contract with them, extend those out to the end of the calendar year for 2030, and then think about doing something all-encompassing city and school into one like mega contract. So we don't have this third-party supplier, put it all under one umbrella.
Thank you, Kevin. Sometimes I learn as I go, and I think what I learned is that despite the city council, school department, school committee seeking to perhaps get back some of that money that we thought we overpaid, has nothing to do with this new provider. We would not be, the question is moot with respect to negotiating with the new provider. it's the old provider we have to negotiate with, correct?
Correct. And I did actually seek information from the old provider first for this new Rogers High School account, what it would be if we did just the account alone, with the contract before us, if we did just the account alone, or if we added it to the city encompassing contract. And this is the most favorable contract that we could.
Appreciate all the
Thanks, Trevor.
answers, and I temporarily fibbed to you when I said last question. This will be my last question. So Councilor Kamsavaravong's question at the last council meeting, if I were to see him tomorrow morning and report to him what we did at this evening's meeting, is it safe to say that we matched all of our rates at the schools? Or we matched all of what we pay rate-wise with the entities that the city governs, the school department, the city, et cetera?
It would just be Rogers and the city that is matched together at the same.
Okay,
fixed
because
rate.
of absent the top. Okay,
Correct.
appreciate it. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thanks, Kev. All right.
Mr. Chair?
Council
Just have a
Smythe.
Quick question. I just want to echo what Councilor Carlin and Napolitano said. And I work in government contracts, so anytime I see fixed price, to me, that means that once the contract is put into place, there is no negotiating after that. It is a fixed price. So no matter what happens, that is what we owe the awardee. Can you just confirm that whatever negotiations are going to happen is going to happen before this contract is finalized?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
We get updated numbers on a daily basis, and then we move from there.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. All those in favor of the electricity supply fixed rate contract with Constellation Energy, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Nice have it.
And moving on to ordinances, motion to amend section 10.24.010 of the codified ordinance entitled Parking Prohibited at All Times in Designated Places, Russell Avenue. This is a second reading. So this would be to add Russell Avenue South Side from Malbone Road proceeding eastward, a distance of 50 feet.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. A motion to amend ordinance number 2025-77, approving the issuance of wastewater system revenue bonds. This is a second reading.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Next, we have a resolution requesting a personnel audit. This is Councilor Smythe.
I'll just read the resolved. Resolve that adoption of any modifications to the organizational chart as published in the fiscal year 2027 budget shall be suspended pending completion of an objective personnel audit conducted by a qualified independent firm, the results of which may inform any proposed organizational changes, and be it further resolved that the audit will include a process implementation plan of what it would look like to have the school's finance office realigned as part of the city's Department of Finance. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Council Smythe.
I would like to motion for some amendments
Please
for
go
this
ahead.
resolution. The first is for the first resolved, that is amended to read, resolved that the Newport City Council hereby directs that an objective personnel audit be conducted by a qualified independent firm to evaluate the city's organizational structure, staffing, reporting relationships, operational efficiencies, and management practices, the results of which may inform future organizational changes. And be it further resolved that the audit shall include a process implementation plan evaluating the feasibility, operational considerations, benefits, challenges, and requirements associated with realigning the school's department finance office as part of the city's Department of Finance. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
What is different between this and?
There's a lot. Can we?
Both the resolves are.
Yeah, can we do one resolve at a time?
Yep, I can do that.
That way you can kind of like shorten it up a little bit.
Yep. Do you want me to read the
So do
amended for the first?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so resolve that the Newport City Council hereby directs that an objective personnel audit be conducted by a qualified independent firm to evaluate the city's organizational structure, staffing, reporting, relationships, operational efficiencies, and management practices, the results of which may inform future organizational changes.
Second.
All right, motion and a second on that first amended resolve. Any discussion?
But how is it different from the original one?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, go ahead, Counselor Smith.
It removes any mention of, so if you're looking at the resolution in front of you, that first resolve states adoption of any modifications to the organizational chart as published in the fiscal year 2027 budget.
Oh. Oh, got it. Okay, sorry, I'm sorry. Thank you.
It removes mention of the 2027 budget.
Counselor Carlin?
No, no.
Okay.
And the reason for that?
I'm sorry. No, I think it's fine amendment and I support it.
What was your question,
I
Counselor?
was just gonna say, that what is the reason for doing that?
So at the last meeting, it was mentioned that if that wording was in there, then we would have to reopen the budget and the budget talks.
Ah, okay, there we go. Okay, thank you. That's what I need to know.
Any other discussion on the amended resolve? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. And then second
Second.
amended?
So the second resolved, it just includes, so resolved that the audit shall include a process implementation plan evaluating the feasibility, operational considerations, benefits, challenges, and requirements associated with realigning the school's department finance office as part of the city's Department of Finance.
Second.
All right. Motion and second. Any discussion?
Yes, Mr.
Counselor
Chair,
Segway?
just a quick question. Do we know how much this study would cost?
The rough estimates by my research, and again, we're not committing, we're committing to the idea, but not appropriating any funds tonight, but somewhere between $200,000 and $300,000 would be like it'd be a full-scale organization.
Okay, so but that would come to us later. This is more,
Correct.
this is more of a conceptual thing.
Correct. This enables the administration to go out with the request for qualifications. And hopefully we get several, I shouldn't say bidders, not bidders, but several proposals that we can then score independent price and then open the envelope for price and forth.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Cullen?
Thank you. Beth Cullen, School Committee. I've had conversations with several people in the city administration as well as the schools. 2 months ago, the school department voted to hire a audit firm called Plant and Moran. It was the least expensive of the three that we looked at. That week, Councilor Smythe had a resolution this was in May, I think, or early June, to do the audit, the one that was continued, I guess, June. So around the same time, and I called our finance director and said, would it be appropriate if we stopped that vote and talked to the city about using the same firm? So I believe Alvarez and Martel is one that's been talked about. That was one of our three that we looked at. They were more expensive, but they're far more, they do a better job in my research. So I'm asking that you consider, and I don't know if this is an amendment or how this would be handled, but I think that we need to have something in writing that says that the same company that the city is using for their finance and staffing audit is the same company that the schools are using, so that the data is not overlapping or inconsistent. Everybody I've talked to in administration, including our former superintendent, think that's a good idea. I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that and think about it. I don't know the procedure to do that and to codify it, but I think it's worth your talking about, because why would we have a separate, inexpensive, not great company when you're going to hire a good one and the price is about this, the same? If we can get one price for both, I don't know, but I think we need to talk about that.
Mr. Chairman?
Councilor Carlin?
Thank you, Ms. Cullen. Knowing that the school committee voted for a completely irresponsible fiscal 27 budget, as you mentioned earlier, and as was mentioned earlier, 4-3. Tell me, please, what the vote was on your request to postpone hiring an auditor.
There was no vote because we voted on this least expensive company that was not well vetted. I'll just say that. And then when I found out the city was going to do something similar, I called our finance director and I said, have you contacted Plant and Moran yet? He had not. I then talked to the superintendent. So as far as I know, it's on hold so that we can have this conversation. I just think it makes a lot of sense for us not to do two separate audits when we're trying to figure out how we can work better together.
I appreciate the answer, Mr. Chairman. I have far more confidence in Director Nolan and the city finance staff to select a personnel auditor to oversee what the council is asking for here in this good resolution. And if the school department decides that it'd like to join on our team, so to speak, let it do so. But I don't think any further amendments are necessary to Councilor Smythe's resolution.
Yeah, and just so we don't forget, we're still on the amended second resolve. So before we get into
To her amended second resolve.
So any other discussion on that second amendment, the second resolved amendment? All right, let's take a vote on that. So all those in favor of that second resolved amendment, second amended resolve, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, ayes have it. Just quick question for either city manager or the solicitor. Is it in our scope to tell the school department to use the same company that we're using, or can we even tell them to do that, or is it a separate entity?
We cannot tell them that, but I think if the school committee resolved to support the city and to collaborate, we could. What I don't think we should try to do is merge this into a 600 employee massive audit, because there's apples and oranges differences between, school and city administration. However, there is certainly an argument to be made that if both parties are looking to do something very similar at the same time, then they collaborate on a consolidated RFP, and then we just have to negotiate how to apportion the contributions to price once that's known. So I think there's absolutely common sense in that approach. And as long as the Newport Public Schools has not yet committed to their initial plan, then I think we're in prime position to do that. I think the auditor would basically draw a wall between organizations and audit them separate of each other, but they could be in town and working on it at the same time. And I think that would ultimately save us some money collectively.
The only other thing you can certainly address this resolution now. And as the school goes down their path to doing the same thing, that's not to stop a subsequent resolution to address a combined effort. It might even be an opportunity. I'm not recommending this necessarily, but the cost to the school committee for this, for their share of it, if they, at some point, depending on what the council does in terms of funding, might be one of those non-recurring expenses that you could address that wouldn't be part of the maintenance of effort. So that's just something to point out, but I would, at this point, just go forward with this resolution, and then it's always the capability to, as this process goes downstream, to combine the efforts.
Okay, great. Okay. Any other discussion? All right, so on the twice amended resolution, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Motion as amended?
We just do
Oh,
that.
we just did that? Oh, okay. Motion to adjourn as council and convene as Board of License
Second.
Commissioners.
Motion is second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Motion to approve the consent calendar in its entirety.
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion is second, any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye. You didn't let us answer.